Modin Veleth, the captain of House Redoran Guard, has asked us to investigate the strange ashen beings with life at the Adius farm outside of Raven Rock. These ash-spawn creatures have been attacking the town, and he wants us to put an end to this.
Your contribution to our community will never be forgotten. Azura protect you, sir. Make way!
Let's set up camp for the night and continue in the morning. Ah, the skies have opened up. Perfect weather for our visit to Fort Frostmoth.
Wow, it's morning already. And as usual, it seems I've forgotten to sleep.
Fire salts don't just keep your food warm, it also adds some nice spice to it.
I have been doing some reading, and learnt that Fort Frostmoth was the primary imperial settlement of Solstheim in the Third Era, after their discovery of the island. The fort acted as the area office of the East Empire Company to mine the rich deposits of ebony from Raven Rock. In 4E5, the aging fort was almost completely destroyed by the eruption of the Red Mountain. I doubt we will find anything at the fort apart from ruins.
The fresh smell of ash in the morning. Isn't it grand, Grimmy?
I can't breathe, Salzaz! Morrowind is going to kill me!
Shush, both of you. It's a clear day and the air is nice. Not as fresh as it is in Skyrim, but nice nevertheless. A note titled, Declaration of War. Strange.
The Empire's here. That seems exceedingly unlikely.
The Empire? What are you talking about, Zell? Oh yeah, the note we found here. Let's read. This note was written by a certain Falx Carius of the Empire. But the Empire is not here anymore. Who is this Falx Carius? We need to speak to Captain Veleth as soon as possible and show him this letter.
Have you found something? No one knows, really. Superstitious folks say they're the risen forms of those that died long ago. But I'm not so certain. They started attacking the bulwark a few weeks ago. My men were able to kill them, but they keep coming back. We've had 2 other assaults on the bulwark. at different spots on the
Turn
wall.
around and I'm suddenly gone.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's almost like they're becoming more organized and probing it for weaknesses. Exactly. Something has to be directing them against us, and we need to find out who or what it is. This is strange. The note says it's from General Falx Carius, but that's impossible. Well, Carius was the Imperial garrison commander at Fort Frostmoth, but he died over 200 years ago when the Red Mountain leveled the place. There's no way he could still be alive.
Yet so far away.
If General Carius is still alive, there must be something keeping him that way. I need you to head out to Fort Frostmoth and check it out. I'm going to head back to Raven Rock and prepare the men for further assaults. Be careful. This General Carius sounds out of his mind.
So, General Falx Carius was in Solstheim in the Third Era, 200 years ago, and he is still alive and sending letters? Let's investigate.
Intriguing. Place your bets. Impersonation, necromancy, or something else. My bets are on necromancy.
It cannot be necromancy, right? Carius looks like has regained his free will and some measure of intelligence. This may be magic we have never experienced before. Let's head to Fort Frostmoth.
People tend to become offended if I wander off into my thoughts too often. They seem to think that means I don't find them interesting. It's just so hard to not become distracted by a new stimulus, whether it's in the physical world or the internal one.
Sorry, what did you say, Remy? I'm entranced by these netch creatures. See? It happens to me too. So this is Fort Frostmoth. Once upon a time, this was a bustling place for the officers of the East Empire Company. Now, a derelict ruin.
Ingredients with paralysis properties are generally hard to come by. But two quite common ingredients for that are Carius root and imp stones.
Men, an invader has entered the fort. Fort Frostmoth will never fall. Long live the Empire!
You will feed the roots. naked dance.
Story of a and gaining knowledge of machine workings. Unrelated, how do you think plums taste?
So that's the last of these ash spawns. I think we need to head inside to meet this general.
This fort is in a sad state, isn't it? I doubt these walls will be able to hold back a pack of werewolves as they were to inexplicably turn up.
The eruption of Red Mountain has destroyed the fort. I shudder to think about the events of that sad day. Everyone inside the fort must have died instantly. A tragic event in the history of Morrowind.
I promise.
These letters are from the skeletal remains of Maximian Axius, who was posted here at the beginning of the Fourth Era. They are addressed to his wife Selena and talk about the events that happened weeks before Red Mountain erupted, and also what happened at the fort on the day of the eruption. These letters from Maximian Axius showed how hopeless life was for people posted here in Solstheim. The Empire only was interested in profit from the mines, and never bothered to take care of the legionaries and the officers working here. He also briefly documents how there was ash and fire everywhere. The eruption of Red Mountain was a day of horror for those unfortunate to be here at Solstheim. Magnus guide their souls.
on, Sue.
Want Zell to carry you for a while. Scrap, why would you say something so hurtful?
Another journal here from a conjurer named Elara'a, who uncovered the tomb and started experimenting with something known as heartstones to reanimate the dead bodies of the Imperials, including the deceased General Falx Carius. She succeeded, but the general slowly became hostile and she had to abandon the experiment. So this explains how a 200-year-old Falx Carius is alive. I hope we unearth the mystery of these heartstones too in due time. For now, let's find Carius.
I nearly tripped over Zell's tail just then.
Sooth, Remy. Your shoes are too creaky.
That's hardly my fault. It's because we're always walking. Hardly conducive to sneaky shoes.
I'll lend you some Guama wax if you'd like.
Actually, that'd be incredibly useful. Thanks.
Get them.
Funny. I was at least expecting to bleed a little.
So these are the magical heartstones Elara'a was talking about. Let's try to mine them.
You really should be trying to do this.
Oh, get up.
too roughed up in the next fight, okay?
Interesting. I wonder if these heartstones are found all over Solstheim. We still do not understand what these stones do or how they work, but I hope Master Naloth may shed some light on them. I just can't wait to meet Master Naloth. There is so much one can learn from him. And that is the reanimated Falx Carius, who died 200 years ago. He appears like a normal Imperial general. He has come back from the past into the future. I wonder if he knows it.
What was that? Ready yourself. My ears didn't deceive me.
My breath.
The Ashspawn attacks on Raven Rock will cease now.
General Falx Carius, your soul deserves a rest. We have put an end to any further ash spawn attacking Raven Rock. It's time to leave Fort Frostmoth and return to Captain Veleth.
I swapped that wire.
Plenty of work in the mine.
Larger soul gem.
Headed east. May want to...
seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
Your contribution to our community will never be forgotten. Azura protect
I
you.
don't know what
Sage.
you did in those mines, but it put a smile on Carius's face. I've never seen him so happy.
What news do you bring from Fort Frostmoth? I had my suspicions that he was undead. How else could he have survived for over 200 years? It's a shame. There are quite a few tales of General Carius's exploits, including the founding of Raven Rock.
You should do it in person.
It's not from your father. It's from
Councillor Morvain told me to give this to you if you made it back in one piece. And you got rid of General Carius. Better than a soldier's pay, so you should be thankful.
where you messed up this time. He said you...
The mines are open and the shop is busy again. Thank you.
So,
Don't be put off by my husband's move.
Yes?
He enjoys having visitors.
Barely do anything worthwhile. But I've read about some in Morrowind that are as large as a room. Apparently they use tonal magic to alter
You looking for something?
Have you seen them?
I believe something like that was discovered in Nesis in the Second Era by Baladas Telvanni's ancestor. If I am not mistaken, it was later used to keep the Qualma in the mine there unnaturally docile towards the Qualma miners. I wonder if it has survived the Redu.
Doesn't that sound useful in battles? I imagine it could replicate the effects of a calm spell, don't you think?
It would certainly seem that way, but there's one
Of course,
issue.
the problem is if they're so large, how do we compress them down into a transportable size?
Well, one would first have to understand how it works.
I imagine it depends on their inner workings, as well as how complex the sequence of tones are.
I don't know
Which,
if I
of
can
course,
do
begs
this
the question of how complex a tonal melody must be to tamper with the minds of man and mer.
Likely quite
He's never
complex.
been
I don't know what you did in those mines.
Resonator having a
The
controlling
smile on
impact on the
Carius's
workings of the
face.
mine.
Never seen him so happy.
Those are College of Winterhold robes, aren't they?
Tonal magic, though. I haven't messed with it too much, but I'm sure with some experimentation...
Gilvas Demnavani has taken a keen interest in it. If you come across him, you could likely interrogate him about it.
Oh, yes, great. And where would he be? I need to meet him immediately, before this idea is lost from my mind.
Probably skulking about in the Velothes, I'd wager. I believe he sent me a letter some time ago about potentially having discovered an untouched Dwemer ruin there.
So we're going, right?
Vegetables ready for you soon.